Move your filthy cows. You disgusting redneck trash. Those were the first words out of Karen Bradshaw's mouth as her shiny white BMW came barreling straight at my pregnant heifers. Horn blaring. Windows down. Her hair flying like she was leading a parade. I watched in disbelief as my prize cattle, each one worth more than her monthly alimony, scattered in terror across my private ranch road. She didn't care, she never did. This was my land. My grandfather's sweat and bones buried in every inch of these 50 acres, and she had the nerve to treat it like her own shortcut. That day, she nearly ran me down, shouting something about community property now, hillbilly, as a cloud of dust swallowed her tail lights. I looked down at one of my girls, trembling and already showing signs of early labor. And I knew, right then, no more warnings. That night, I started building what she'd never see coming. And before you judge, ask yourself, what would you do if an HOA Karen called you trash on your own land, nearly hit your livestock, and thought your legacy was hers to pave over? If you're watching this from Texas, maybe you know the feeling. My name's Jake Riverside, and let me tell you, I've tangled with entitled city folks my whole damn life. But nobody brought it like Karen Bradshaw. This land, these 50 acres of hard dirt and mesquite, has been Riverside land since my granddad first started clearing brush and rattlesnakes in the 1940s. Every morning, the same song, cattle calling, wood creaking in the Texas sun, the smell of hay and that sweet mix of dust and diesel that means you're home. It's the place where I got down on one knee and asked Sarah to marry me under the old lightning split oak. We raised our 2 kids here, now grown and off. Living City lives in Austin, but their footprints are in the dirt. 2. 3 generations of Riversides rest up on the bluff, watching Willow Creek. And when I run my hand along the old fence posts, I can feel my daddy's splinters. Back in '42, Granddad built the ranch road himself, 1 truckload of gravel at a time, quarter-mile from County Road 1247 to the front porch. Always private. The deeds in black and white, signed and witnessed from when a handshake still meant a damn thing. These days, I'm semi-retired, mostly helping younger cattlemen figure out regulations that'd make my granddad roll over in his grave. Sarah's taught 3rd grade at Millbrook Elementary so long. She knows every kid's name, and probably most of their parents' secrets. We're not flashy, but folks used to respect us at least. Until Karen moved in. You could see her coming a mile away, newly divorced, flush with Dallas real estate money, buying up the biggest house in Millbrook Estates for nearly $1 million. She'd strut out for the mail in heels and pearls, like she was heading to some charity gala. 6 months in, she'd taken over the HOA, started talking community improvement, which everyone knew meant do it Karen's way or else. And then she found my Ranch Rowata shortcut to the highway. Saved her 3 minutes, which for a woman who spent an hour painting her face each morning was apparently a matter of life and death. The first time, I figured she was lost. The second, I stepped out polite as a preacher and told her it was private property. She rolled down her window, flashed that frozen pageant smile, and said, "Oh honey, this little dirt road's been public forever. You can't just block neighbors from using community routes." I showed her the deed. She looked at it like I'd handed her a dirty rag. Well, bless your heart. Sugar. We'll just see about that. Every Texan knows, bless your heart means war. The next morning, I was moving my prize Angus bull, 1,500 pounds of muscle, more valuable than her damn car, when she came blasting through, horn blaring, scattering my herd. I stepped out, hands up, and she floored it. German engineering and Texas gravel at 30 miles an hour is something you don't forget. Neither is the taste of dust in your teeth or the sight of a $2,000 heifer limping away from a BMW bumper. That's when I realized Karen hadn't just moved here. She'd declared an invasion. 3 days later, a process server showed up, city boy in a cheap suit, sweating bullets, envelope thicker than a Sunday roast. "Jake Riverside, you've been served. Dallas lawyers." All fancy bond paper, and threats said if I kept blocking established public easement, I'd be sued into the next century. They threw around prescriptive easement and continuous use like magic words. Figured I'd fold. Well, my daddy always said, Never bring a knife to a gunfight, but he never told me what to do when someone brings a lawyer with a bazooka. I spent the next day at the county courthouse, breathing in dust and determination. Deed books told the real story. Not only was my road private, but my father had fixed a survey error in '87. Legal. Airtight riverside land. Always. While I built my legal case, Karen played her own game. That's when Eddie Martinez, the mail carrier, and, frankly, the best source of town gossip, dropped the bomb. Jake, that HOA princess of yours. She's been running real estate showings, promising buyers exclusive ranch road access. Overheard her last week telling folks they'd get the Texas ranch lifestyle without the cattle smell. Over $2 million in pending sales, all using my road as a selling point. She'd painted herself into a corner, promised what she couldn't deliver. So, I did what any sane man would do, documented everything. Security cameras at the gate, legal notices sent certified mail, detailed logs, dates, plates, times, trespass duration. Karen responded by doubling down, treating my road like the Dallas Turnpike. Lunch runs, yoga classes, carloads of tourists gawking at my cattle sometimes. She even sold guided community tours. And when that wasn't enough, she filed noise complaints against my cows, reported my consulting business as unlicensed commercial activity. Anything to make my life hell. Sarah and I sat on the porch one night, listening to the cicadas and watching the sun set behind our land. She's not going to stop, Sarah said. I just nodded. Neither was I. Karen started getting creative, leaving my gate open, letting my herd wander onto the county road. In Texas, if your cow hits a pickup at 60 miles an hour, you're liable. Every morning became a mad scramble, diesel fumes mixing with fierce sweat, chasing Angus back through the gate Karen had sabotaged. Then the insurance company showed up, some anonymous complaint about unsafe road conditions. They threatened to jack up my premiums by nearly 10 grand a year. Karen was pricing me out of my own home. I filed trespassing charges. Deputy Martinez shrugged. Need more than driving violations. Jake, keep documenting. So I did 47 separate incidents. Every one cataloged. And here's the twist. Karen had political juice. Her ex-husband, Dallas City Council. She was calling in favors, spinning up Facebook groups about community safety, painting me as the villain, the dangerous old rancher blocking emergency access. The comment sections lit up, folks who'd never set foot in Millbrook sharing horror stories about selfish neighbors. But karma has a sense of humor. Maria Santos, the only honest real estate agent in 3 counties, called me. Karen's promised buyers exclusive ranch road access. She's got $2.3 million in contracts if she can't deliver. It's bankruptcy. Karen wasn't just entitled, she was desperate. She'd bet the farm on stealing mine. Sarah watched me spread surveys across the kitchen table. You're planning something. Damn right I am. Karen wanted a fight. She was about to get one. She started playing dirty, filing environmental complaints accusing my cattle of poisoning water sources. Inspector Rodriguez spent 4 hours on the ranch. Operations cleaner than most dairies. Mr. Riverside, whoever filed this doesn't know cattle. He left. And Karen upped the ante, bringing buyers through for photo ops, staged picnics, Instagram moments on land that wasn't hers. I got it all on camera. Video, audio, written statements. A case file thicker than a phone book. Her insurance scam fell apart. The company investigated. Found my road was private. But I found something better, her financial desperation. The HOA was broke from designer landscaping and a country club pool. Karen needed property values to jump 15% just to avoid recall and personal bankruptcy. Her last move? She begged the county commissioner for eminent domain. He laughed her out of the office, no demonstrated public need. Then came the media. Channel 8 News. Fresh-faced reporters spinning her story, calling me a threat to public safety. Sarah watched, arms folded, eyes flashing with the kind of fury that could stop a schoolyard brawl with a look. She just declared war on us, Sarah said. And I decided, enough. That's when Tom Bellamy, my lawyer, called. The original Millbrook Estates contract buried in county records waived any claim to pre-existing ranch roads. Karen's lawyers missed it. Her own house, car, every asset on the line for HOA debt. And her pattern lost her license in Dallas in 2019 for the same scam. This wasn't just a feud. This was criminal. Time for a permanent solution. I called Ray Molina, the best builder in 3 counties. Ray, I need a wall. Something even Karen can't bulldoze. He grinned. Hell, Jake, that's harder than stopping a tornado. 12 feet high, steel-reinforced concrete, angled top, foundation deep enough to make a geologist proud. Solar gate, cameras, motion sensors, permitted, legal, airtight. Ray built it like a fortress. Karen showed up, high heels kicking up dust. 3 HOA board members in tow. She screamed about community property. County inspector checked the permits. Shrugged, everything's in order. The next night, someone tried to sabotage the forms. Security footage caught a shadowy figure in dark clothes BMW visible on the road. Deputy Martinez called it criminal mischief, but without a face, just a slap on the wrist. Karen went back to the media rallies, TV crews, hand-painted signs about agricultural bullying. Tom handed the reporters every document, every trespassing log, her prior fraud. The tide turned. Reporters started asking Karen tough questions. Buyers canceled contracts, sued for fraud. Her empire collapsed in real time. But Karen had one last card. She showed up at my gate alone. Desperate. Jake, let's be reasonable. $25,000 for an easement. I kept filling cattle troughs. $50,000. Not interested. $75,000, and I'll drop all complaints. I looked her dead in the eye. My property isn't for sale. You should have thought of that before you started a war. That night, the wall was finished. 12 feet of concrete standing between us and insanity. At 3 a.m., Karen tried to ram it with her BMW. The car folded like a beer can. She climbed out, cussing like a sailor. Just as the sheriff's lights rolled up, justice finally had come home. The Millbrook County Fair was the final act. Karen stormed the stage with a few diehard supporters, ranted about illegal walls. I stood up, calm as sunrise, presented the deeds. The permits. 47 trespass incidents. Reporters devoured it. Mrs. Henderson, one of Karen's buyers, stepped forward. She promised us access she never owned. 2 more families backed her up. Then the Texas Real Estate Commission investigator announced Karen's license was suspended pending fraud charges. The crowd started to buzz. Deputy Martinez stepped forward. Karen Bradshaw, you're under arrest for trespassing, fraud, and vehicle assault. The cameras caught every second. She was loaded into the cruiser, cursing a blue streak. As the dust settled, Channel 8 asked, any regrets? I just put my hand on that wall and said, only regret is that it took this long. Property rights aren't suggestions. They're the foundation of America. The applause thundered across the fairgrounds. 6 months later, justice ran its course. Karen pleaded guilty to fraud and property damage, paid restitution, got slapped with a permanent restraining order. Her license was gone for good. Her mansion sold to pay off lawsuits. The new HOA presidenta, retired teacher, apologized for the nightmare. Set things right. City folks and country folks started meeting halfway, neighborly again. Ray's company started building anti-Karen walls all over Texas, built to stop BMWs and bullies. My insurance dropped. My stress vanished. Morning coffee on the porch tasted sweeter without Karen's engine screaming through my dreams. The best part? The experience turned into something good: property rights seminars, scholarships for local AG students, a real sense of community. The wall became a teaching tool. Visitors came from across the state to see the day a rancher stood his ground. One evening, Sarah asked, think we'll ever have neighbor trouble again? I looked at that wall. 12 feet of Texas resolve. Not behind that. We won't. The cicadas sang. Cattle load. The gate whirred softly in peace. Real peace. Settled in for good. But let me ask you, where do we draw the line between community and control? When does someone else's progress become theft? If it's your land, your sweat, Your family's name on the deed. How far would you go to protect it? Drop your stories. Your own battles with Karens or HOAs. In the comments. Where does justice end and payback begin? I want to hear from you.